Hey, what's up guys, it's Nicu, your host, and welcome to another video on this channel. I'm really excited to share with you, and today we're gonna do some nice micro interaction for your portfolio or for your website. It's inspired by one amazing website I like from Awwwards. It's 99 minus digital studio. I borrowed it from them and just did some tweaks. We will mainly focus on the menu, and this is all just the layout. We'll have a menu button here, and when it will be clicked, it will have this nice animation. It just involves some working with transforming and rotating and translating the items on this button. Also, we'll have this nice delayed animation for each of the item in the menu, and nice hover animation for the images. If you see here, we also have these icons, yeah, also slide animation. And the amazing part is that we'll make it responsive. Yeah, so if we go to, I don't know, pixel, you see that button disappears and we have this one below. And the magic happens here at around 768 pixels. Yeah, you see that the contact us button like morphs into a new button, and if we click on it, we have the menu responsive. So that's what we're gonna do today. It's a nice tutorial, and I just enjoy showing it to you. So see you in just a moment. So in our main container, which is home, we'll need to import a few components, and we will create them in our component folder. So we'll create for each component a new folder. So we'll need a contact button. We will need a header, and we will need a menu. Inside of them, we'll have here for the header an index.csx and a style.css, and then we'll create later for the menu and for the header. For the header, we'll have here a React function. Let's call it a header. Let's for now write something like this, and back into our home component we will import it. Let's see here, header, and here as well we'll need to have our text and h1 that will be displayed for our top section. Yeah, so in our case in h1, and here we'll write blue, and we'll want so that for after each word to have always a new line, so blue blank studio. And in our header, let's go into header, and let's create here let's see, a class name to be a header wrap, and here digital experience design studio. Yeah, let's, yeah, so we have our description and our main text. Let's first style the blue blank studio text and the digital experience, so we will have the main layout, and then we will move to the menu and so on. So for let's see, let's go to home, and here we will target main container, and this one will take a height of 100 viewport high, so we want to make it as much as the screen size. We'll have a display flex, align items flex, and we want to align that text, that H1 to the bottom of it. We'll set a position relative, and let's see, we have a width, so we'll have again to be the whole viewport width, but we will take out 50 pixels, and we will see why later. This is for the margins mostly, and we wanna center it horizontally. Let's see. We have the text here. And for the H1, let's say that it's a font size, and we're gonna clamp the font size between two values. Yeah. There is, like, it's not an official solution, but how we're gonna clamp, or how we're gonna have a min and a max font size for an element is through clamp function. And clamp function, it takes a minimum, something in between, and a maximum. Where we'll have, when we have for the small devices, we'll go like low to 100 pixels, and for any other devices we have 15 viewport width, but with a maximum of 15 viewport width size. So that's how we clamp. A font weight be bold, a margin bottom be viewport 10 viewport height. Let's see, a max with 70 viewport width. Let's see what we got for now. Yeah, cool. A text transform uppercase. We will import the Anton font from Google APIs. So font family Anton, which is a sans serif, and a color of 1:1. We're going back. Let's inspect and see what we got. There should be a comma here. Yeah, cool. So we've got font, we have this big bold text. We'll make it responsive later. Let's see, for the main container, we see here so there needs to be a space here like this. Let's refresh. Cool. So we have the title. Let's go and make the digital experience design, going here to the right. So back into the header, let's import file.css. Actually, this should be a paragraph. Yeah, copy, and let's give this one a class name, so brand description. Let's save. Back to CSS, we'll target the brand description, and this one will have a position fixed. We'll move it in the layout with a top of 100 pixels, right, then viewport width. Let's say a max width of 120 pixels. A color, again, 111. Text transform uppercase. And I believe we can do something like weight which is 300. Yeah, and size is 12 pixels. Copy and see. Yeah, let's go and check if the font and the font size it's applied. And the text align right. So we kind of have this like brand description, and now we kind of see something happening on our page. Let's go and add the contact button. So index.tsx, JSX actually, don't write TypeScript here, and the style.sss. Again, this one is gonna be let's RFC contact button. My caps lock is on. Button, and this gonna have a class name, so contact button, and gonna have span contact us, and we're gonna need an icon. Yeah, so for the icon we're gonna use React Feather. We're going to React Feather. So this is some open source icons. We are using them, so I'm using them at my job in production. Pretty cool icons, aligned icons. So in our package JSON, yeah, we already have them imported, installed. Yeah. So we will need the plus from React Feather, and here we just import the React component. We have to import this component to the home container, I believe. Yeah, here down near this H1. Yeah, so we have the contact. Let's go and style it as well. Port style SASS, and here we have the contact button, which is gonna have a background people wants. I think it's best to make this as a variable, then reuse it every time. A position absolute, so right, then viewport width, bottom, then viewport height, border 1 pixel solid 1, padding pixels, save, contact button. Yep, so we kind of see something. So we now have to make the text uppercase, the color white. Yeah. Display flex, align item center, justify content center, and let's add the letter spacing of 3 pixels. Cool. Let's add some margin between the text and margin right, 10 pixels. Save. Yeah. The menu will have a button, and we'll need some sort of manager, right? The manager is gonna be a context, and this context will have one simple state, which is to check if the menu is currently opened or not, and it's gonna have a callback to update that boolean. And then with the help of it, we will somehow have access to the context throughout all of the application, and we could access this context from different components. Like in our case, we'll need on mobiles to have access to the contact us button and to this icon that we'll make in just a moment here on the far left. Let's go to the menu and let's create here one file in the JSX, and this and then we'll need 3 more folders: menu button, menu content, and menu manager. In the index we'll have the RFC function, which is gonna be a menu, and here we'll pass a class name to be menu wrapper. And for the menu button we'll need as well as text.jsx text and style.css. And for the index.jsx, again it's an function, menu button, and let's give it a class name to be menu button wrap. And for the menu content, we would also need index.jsx and the style.css. This one again, RFC, new content, that menu folder, and let's import style.css, copy this one, and let's put it to the menu here as well. And what is left is to come here and import menu button, menu content. Yeah, so nothing changes. Now let's go and place the menu button. And the menu button here will need the button. So inside we'll just have a span, and with this span we will create the menu. And this we're gonna have a menu button class, and we'll do something on click. Yeah, let's go in style. So menu button wrap, gonna have a position fixed, a left of 111 pixels, a top of 100 pixel as at index 11. And for the menu button we will make it cursor pointer, width 48 pixels, height 48 pixels, border none, background 0, and for the span inside here we will create the lines. So after, before, content, save, width 2 pixels, height 48 pixels, position absolute, background color, and the background you will see in a moment what we are creating here. So basically we are creating two lines. Yeah, 11, left 50%, top 50%, display block. Yeah, so we have to port menu in our header. In our header here, port menu. So here kind of have so here we have kind of the lines. Yeah, now we have to transform them to get nice two lines. Yeah, so in our menu bottom here, so now we gotta trigger or target each of the lines. So we'll use the transform, and the transform can take multiples like transform values. Like we can translate, we can rotate, and we can scale all of them once. But the order in which we're doing is really important. So first we're gonna translate -5 pixels 50%, and then we wanna scale the arrow to 0.7 and rotate it 180 degrees. And for the this should be before, should be after. Transform, translate 5 pixels -50%, scale 0.7 and rotate 0. Yeah, so we have these two lines here. And also we need to set transform the transition all 1 second, a cubic Bezier of 0.645, 0.045, 0.355, and 1. Again, this one is what I found to like, so it might be different for your use case. I'm gonna come and add a few more things. A margin left 75 pixels to have more empty space on the left and on the right. Padding left 50 pixels. A border left, which is gonna be 1 pixel solid, and an RGB of 116 on 616, and the width you have calculate 100 viewport width minus 1.6 pixels. So this one we're not using yet. Yeah. So we have here the button, we have the contact us, and let's go and create the content for the menu. And the content will need here to have, well, some sample data. I'll copy paste it. Well, what we're gonna have here is we have an array of objects, and each object we have an image, will have an text, yeah, right, or a component actually, and this is gonna be our menu, right? So for example, you have about, you have contact us, you have a career, In our case, we have project, recognition, studio, and for each of them we have some arbitrary image from Unsplash in our case. And for our external link, we'll have there some icons. And again, all of these icons are imported from React Feather. So we can just come here and paste. Let's go now and build the menu content. So we have the menu holder, and then we're gonna have here again another placeholder or another wrapper, which is a menu inside, and the inside will have another element class name, which is menu nav container. And here we have two lists, one for internal links and one for external links. So we'll create a new UL, and let's give the class name internal of links, and we'll iterate through each internal. We get the link, then we will return a list, save, and the key is link.url here, and we inside we have an a tag with link.component, and for the href link.url, and we'll also need the image source, which is link.image. Link.image. Now let's just copy paste this one. So and let's just get this one, external link. And here we won't need the image, since these one are just some SVGs or some React components. Yeah, so we kind of get the images, the icons for external. So for the menu manager, here we have an index, a JSX, and the menu manager will be an React function, menu manager, and inside they're gonna have a state using useState, which is false. By default is not opened. So here we'll need to import useState. Also we'll need to import a create context, because we will use context here. So let's export const menu context, which is create context. We need to pass the default values, so open false, and set open, which is an arrow function. And here we won't return a div. What we're gonna return is a menu context.provider and props children, and the props we're gonna get it here from props. And for the provider we have to pass the value, which is an object with open and set open. Run here. And this menu manager will wrap our components in home. So here, instead of this fragment, we have menu manager. Let's close And going back to the menu button, we'll have to get the context. So actually use context, set the open and set open. Menu context. For our menu button, we're gonna come and set open to open. We have use context is not defined, so we need to import use context. Import, everything is clear. Yeah, so let's go on to menu content. We need to get access to the open value from the context, so const open is context menu context. Let's go and import context, and here we'll need to pass a class open to the menu inside when open is true. So we will gonna use the class names package, so library. So here we'll pass the class name, and is true is gonna be set to open. So menu inside will have another friend class. When open, it's gonna be true. We have imported the style, so let's go now and style the menu content, the menu holder. And for the menu inside, we have the position fixed, the width of 100 viewport width, height 100 viewport height, the background of 111. Let's save. Okay, so we get this background on top of everyone, and to make it on top, we set that index. Let's refresh. Yeah, no. We will set the wheel change transform and the transition, the transform, which is in 1 second cubic Bezier 1001, and we'll tell the text inside is white. Yeah, so we see the projects there. Transform the initial transform, so transform translate x minus 100%, so it's invisible. Yeah, and when it's open, if you remember, we said that when open inside has a friend, it set the transform to translate x to 0. If we refresh, click, have this simple yet very mesmerizing animation of the menu. Let's go further. Of container, which is all of the texts. We have the position relative. We have the left to be 220 pixels, the top be 100 pixels, and the overflow hidden. Need for animations and width, calc 90 viewport width minus 2.60. And we need the space here. Refreshing. Yeah, so we see the text there. Going back. Let's first and to hide the image. Say on internal of links. We have there a list, so each of them will have a margin bottom pixels, and Inside we know that we have an A tag, which is a font size. Again, we want to clump 32 pixels for smallest device, for viewport width in between, and for the maximum of 52 pixels. Yeah, so we have this one. Line height 1.amps. Transform, or actually not transform yet, because we're gonna do on animate. And transition. Transform 0.3 sec. A bit busier. 0.555, 0.055, 0.675, 0.19. So we just do some animations here. And for the images, we told that we will display none, but let's make them. So a pointer, events, none. Aspect ratio 60:9, so we want to make them like this. Display block with 30 viewport width. Position absolute. Top 50%. Yeah. So let's open. Have this one. Let's transform. Translate y minus 50% and translate x minus 30 pixels. Right 10%. Yeah. And we gonna place the object fit to cover to get this so to retain the aspect ratio. So if we remove, we see that the image is distortioned. Let's add the transform, so transition, transform 0.5s is the in out, and we gonna change the way it looks, so we add a filter to it. Grayscale 0.54, contrast 0.8, dot rate 1.2, and sepia 0.21. Check what we got. So we have images, and now let's actually have them opacity 0, so we don't see them. And here, when we hover the lead tag, so on and on hover, we have the cursor pointer, and for the image we have the opacity 1, transform, translate y, which is minus 50%, translate x is 30 pixels. So yeah, so we hover, we get this nice effect that we have in our end product. And one small thing is we change the font weight of the text to 800 pixels. Let's go and make the external nav links. So a margin top 100 pixels. Play flex wrap. And for the list items, we have margin right 30 pixels. A tag, transform, translate minus 100%, opacity 0, transition all 0.3. I believe we can copy. Here, let's change equals 0.3. Yeah. And for the last of type, margin right, right 0. We'll also need to know when it is opened. So again, we're gonna use the class names, and here we'll have again that simple code. It's opened. We have this one. So in our styles here, let's see, we need to add a transition to transform 0.8 sec, cubic easier 0.645, 0.045, 0.355, and 1. And let's copy this one. We'll pass to the menu button as well, and we'll have to trigger here the menu, what we have there, button, menu button wrap. Let's close this one. So when it's open, so when this one is open, okay, let's go and make the background color white. Duplicate this and move it here. Let's see if this one works. It doesn't work. Yes, because we need to move this on more level. Yeah, so the white changes. Now we're gonna make this button translate to the right and rotate. So we gonna here target, so trigger actually all of the three elements, so we can achieve the effect. So we're gonna add a translate X to the menu wrapper. We're gonna add a rotation transform to the menu button, and then we will menu button wrap, yeah, menu button, and then we'll for each of the before and after elements, we will apply another translate and rotation to both of them. So we'll take it slow and we'll apply here a transform translate X with 80 pixels, and let's see what it happens. Okay. Sure. So this one just moves to the right, but we want to add it a small transition delay. So we have this nice, let's say one more time. Yeah, so after we click, it kind of have a delay, right? You see it, and it leaves us with a nice effect. So let's go on for the menu button. Now the transform rotate 90 degrees. So now we'll have the menu also rotate 90 degrees, and you see that it starts, and that transition delay pays off here. You see that first kind of it rotates and then it translates to the right. Yeah. So now what we're gonna do is we need to translate and rotate these two lines to make it a cross, an X. So yeah, and this will go to the before and transform, translate minus 50% and 50% on both axes. Translate. Let's go and check. So you see that the left, yeah, the before, it's rotating. Now we need to translate it. Now we need to rotate multiple times, so it's 2.5 times. So we will get a nice rotation here. So, and now for the after, we will transform, translate the same values, minus 50%, minus 50%. Let's see what it does. Yeah, so almost gets to that point, and then we will rotate just 45 degrees. We'll have this oh, so here you just need to scale the Y. So yeah, here we have this nice transition to the menu icon. So that's pretty nice, pretty beautiful experience. What we now gonna do is to animate the titles and the icons, so we would have a more pleasant experience when we open this menu. Let's go to the menu content style. Let's target the internal nav links and the external nav links. And for internal, we'll use here a for loop from SASS, and we can apply a delay transition to each of them. At first, let's add some text or style to each element. So transform, and we'll set to translate 0. Transition duration, duration 0.8 second, and a transform timing transform transition timing function is a cubic bezier, which is 0.19, 1, 0.22, and 1. And as I said, we need to create a for function, and will give us an I, a variable, and we will iterate from 0 to 4. We target the list, and then to env child $I plus 1. So we start to env child of 1, env child of 2, env child of 3. And then we target the A, and we set a transition delay to a $Y divided by 10 plus 0.8 second. Yes. So we'll have a 0.8 second delay for a first child, a 0.9 delay for the second child, and so on until we hit the 50. Here we need to translate minus 100%. We go, yeah. So you could see that each of the items have some sort of delays. Now if we inspect, yeah, so this one has a transitional delay of 0.8, 0.9, and if we go to the last one, I have a 1.2. Now let's go and animate the externals. Now we can copy all of this. Oops. Yeah, so we can copy this, come here. And we also need to have this delay, but we will set the opacity to 1 and the translate to 0. Maybe we change the duration to 1 second, and we'll delay more for each of them. Let's check. Yeah. So that's quite nice. If we go into the inspector and let's say that we have a pixel, we see that the contact us button overlaps with the button, and we have this left side just taking place. What we're gonna do for smaller devices, and we will target the devices below 768 pixels, so tablets, smaller tablets, yeah. And what we're gonna do is we will hide this part, and we will morph the contact us button into a menu button opener. We will use this SASS mixin. It's made for media queries. What it does, it has some breakpoints. We'll just use the tablet, gets the width, which is a breakpoint, and then it takes a type, which is a min or a max, if we target until or after, and it takes the width from that breakpoint, map has key, yeah, and if that type is min, if the second parameter is min, and then we subtract -1, and otherwise we set that width, and then we pass the content, and this content is like props children in React, something similar. Let's go to our home CSS and do some changes. We have our mixin opened, and here we need to uncomment this one and to include MQ, which is the mixin, tablet, and the minimum. We'll put all of this here. So yeah, so we got rid of that border, and if we make it responsive here, we see that after 768 we have a breakpoint, yeah. Let's go to the menu button, I believe, yeah, and for here we'll import, or here down we have include MQ, which is a tablet, and max, play, done. So until we hit the 768 pixels, we display 9. We need to import the mixin. So again, we check, and yeah, we see that it disappears. Let's go to pixel, morph this contact us into a proper button, and then we will open the menu and click in this button. So in our contact us button, we have to have access to that open and open, use context, menu context. Let's also import the use context here. As well, we need the class names package. Again, we apply here the class, and for the on click, we set open to be negative open. So as I said, on click should work only when the device is smaller. So here we'll probably need to set to something else, something better, like opening a mail or something. And this, we need to get the current viewport width, so the current width of the browser on mount, and we check if it's smaller, we set to set open, otherwise it's set to something else. So we'll add a new cover effect, so background color white, color 111. Let's import the MQ. So when we go to, yeah, so our, let's get it out of cover, we change the background. Let's add a transition all 0.5 would be easier, 0.19, 1, 0.22 and 1. Yeah, so now we have a smooth transition, and we will have to trigger when we have these smaller devices. So we'll do some changes. One is we'll set the position to fixed, set the right be 20 pixels and bottom be 30 pixels as add index of 1. So if we go to responsive, changes the position, yeah? So it goes to the far right. Also, we're gonna transition all to 0.2 ease and transform to have its own cubic Bezier, which is 0.645, 0.045, 0.355 and 1. Now we also need to change the width, so width and height 46 pixels. A background color, we don't want a border radius with 24 pixels, text align, center, and transition delay 0.47. Let's go and check. Yeah, so we have it morphing into a oval shape. We now need to hide the text, so trigger this pen, which is a display none. Yeah, we also need to target the SVG transition, which is 1, and transform, so default 0 and default 1. So we'll want to animate the button and the icon. So the button will have like a wiggle effect. So we will translate a little bit to the left when it's opened. And for the SVG, we will rotate a few times and we will scale it. So here when it's open, make the background color to be white, the color of the text to be 1, and the width to be 6.4 pixel. Let's save. Yeah, so oops, I think we're gonna have to add the index here, 11. Yeah, so it changes, right? Also we need to transition delay 0.4 sec. That I said, we need to transform a little bit to translate x minus 10. Run. If we go back, check, and it has like a small bubble, yeah. It's nice to the eye, and it has like this micro interaction to it. Now we'll have to add the SVG transform, and we'll rotate twice and half, and then we'll scale it to 1.5. Yeah, so SVG inside open. Yeah, so we're gonna go to the menu content, and we just need to write a few lines of code. Include tablet max. So for the menu side and menu of container, left 10%, width 100 viewport width, and I didn't find any other good solution, but we have to just hide the images. Let's refresh. Yeah, so we have our menu looking good on Pixel. Let's go to an iPhone. Let's go to responsive, and you can see that it changes the position, and even the buttons changes. We can. So yeah, guys, this is for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. It's not very much like innovative, but I found it really cool to have these small micro interactions. It brings like life to your website. Maybe you can find it a way to improve it and use it in your own way, but that's how I kind of make it work. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for listening here on YouTube. Again, I hope you enjoyed it, and please like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. And maybe if you have some feedback, or if you have some question, leave it down below in the comment section, and I'll see you to the next one. Peace.